So for me, it was very difficult because my mother's white. She has 8 brothers and sisters,
Wow.
32 first cousins. They all live in the north of Spain, and none of them speak English.
Wow.
I am the only mixed race in all of the family. For my dad's family, I am the only mixed race because everyone is black. I am always an outsider, and I am always the one who is kind of Switzerland for everyone.
The middle ground.
Yes.
You ask me where I get all my energy from. From the stage to the studio and to my desk. I am the energy god. And you can be one too.
You're listening to Adeshokbe Live, the Afrobeats podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another edition of Adeshokbe Live, the official Afrobeats podcast, where we break down the hot topics in the culture. Most times, I invite a special guest in the building, to have a conversation with me one-on-one. As always, we're live from the Afromedia Studios in London, and we appreciate all the support we've been getting, especially the subscriptions. Now, the more subscribers we get, the bigger the platform becomes, and the better we will be at promoting ours without waiting for others to do it for us. So please take a moment, click the subscribe button, share, like, comment, support, as always, and we really, really appreciate that. Now, this is brought to you by the Energy God Energy Drink. Drink and be yourself. Stay energized for us, by us. Visit energygod.com and place your orders. We're available there 24/7. So keep those orders coming in. Now, like I said, I'm in the studio this time with a special guest. I currently just found out, all the way from Ghana, Accra to be exact, via Nigeria, the United Kingdom, a little bit of Spain. It's the incredible broadcaster, presenter, designer, model, singer, activist, and just an all-round great personality, the beautiful Amal Fashanu.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow, that was an introduction. This was worth my drive. I'm not gonna lie. You made it up. Thank you. I'm happy.
Do you even think about how many hats you can wear?
To be fair, I do. Lately, I've been thinking about it a lot. And I'm not going to lie, it becomes very challenging at times. I think trying to manage my time and distribute with the many things that I'm trying to do sometimes can be a bit of a downfall for a creative.
Absolutely.
I think it's amazing to be able to do a lot of things, which I can do. But I think now in my life, I'm starting to think I should, maybe focus on one or two more because it's getting a lot.
Absolutely. The introduction for Amal into a lot of people, homes, will be your affiliation with an incredibly, we need to put that on silent, Amal. You're a broadcaster, you know this.
I beg you, I'm so sorry. That was on purpose. It was part of the show.
It was part of the whole show.
It was part of the entertainment. You couldn't, it's getting boring.
So the introduction to Amal will be your affiliation with a somewhat talented, athletic family. Not only your father, a legendary icon of football here in the UK, and of course of Nigerian heritage, and your uncle, your late uncle. Talk to me about growing up with that, over your head, coming from that type of dynasty.
Well, it wasn't easy. I think from the outside, people can picture that this type of life is very glamorous, right? Which at times it is. And that's the positive sides. And, you get a lot of perks. And I got to live an amazing life, an amazing childhood. And that's what I'm very grateful for. But there's a lot of challenges. It's not an easy life, and it's not a so-called normal life. So trust issues, growing up always kind of looking over your shoulder, people always thinking that your work is due to the success of your family. Continuously, I've been like, I feel like I'm fighting, I'm challenging, I'm battling Whatever I do, I have to do it 10 times better than anyone else, because if I don't, it's due to my father. I went to university, I studied communications and media studies. I then did a master's in handbag and leather design.
Incredible.
I think I've done my best to make my parents always proud, because that was also something that my mum was very focused on, my education, and she always wanted me to do the best. So I've always pushed and pushed. So I've had that pressure, plus the pressure of my father being famous and well known, plus my uncle and, his challenges, which, were a lot.
Yeah.
And then just me kind of deciding to take on all of that, and growing up, it's not really easy.
Absolutely.
So when they say that I'm very blessed and, kind of privileged for having the family and the father that I do,
There's also challenges that come with that.
It's kind of difficult.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, your father is the incredible John Fashanu. Your uncle is the late Justin Fashanu. Obviously, in that family background, athletics, the genes of being a talented sports personality ran in the family. Because if it would have been lucky to have one person, but to have two people at the highest level of the international sport, there was something in the water. Did you exhibit any of those talents?
I was going to say, I don't know where the fountain of the water was. I missed that opportunity. I could barely run, let alone have any kind of football skills.
Not even volleyball?
No, I'm not going to lie. I was good at sport.
Yeah.
I'm very kind of, like, I like a challenge, and I like a competition.
Yeah.
So I have inherited that
Yeah.
from them. But I was never really talented in football. I used to do baseball. I used to do basketball.
Wow.
I did 100 meters. I used to do horse riding, polo. But, I think because I was a female, and at the time,
of course, women's football
women,
was, nah.
yeah, it wasn't really encouraged in that same way.
Yeah.
So we didn't see it as something that we wanted to do, or I didn't at the time.
Yeah.
But now, in hindsight, I'm really upset about it. I mean,
it's
I
top
could have
10
just
now.
kept fit, stayed healthy, looked amazing. I mean, been a footballer, earned a lot of money.
It's crazy
been
now.
A great life.
Yeah, look at the Lionesses. Shout outs to the Lionesses.
Exactly.
They absolutely
Shout out.
killing
They're doing
it.
so well.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Now, I wanted to also touch a little bit on your heritage. Obviously Nigerian descent. What was that mixed heritage? You've got European, Spanish family as well. What was that like for a young lady having to navigate those two very strong heritage, basically?
I really like this topic that you picked, because it was actually very difficult. And I was born in London, and I stayed here until I was 10, 11. And then I moved to Madrid, and I went to a British school in Madrid. Now, in this British school, I was probably the only mixed race black person.
Wow.
I actually remember until the age of 16, I didn't actually have a black friend.
Wow.
Then I had one black friend who played basketball. His name was Richard, and he played for Real Madrid basketball.
Yeah.
And then I just don't have a memory of having any other black friends.
Wow.
So for me, it was very difficult, because my mother's white. She has 8 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
32 first cousins. They all live in the north of Spain, and none of them speak English.
Wow.
I am the only mixed race in all of the family. For my dad's family, I am the only mixed race because everyone is black. I am always an outsider.
Wow.
And I am always the one who is kind of Switzerland for everyone.
The middle ground.
Yes. Wow. Because I can give those opinions. But at the same time, it's almost like
you were teaching as well. You were also teaching, basically, because everybody, whatever side of the family you turn to, you were that person that was their entrance into the other world.
So can you imagine, for a young girl, 11 years old, what it was like in Madrid to grow up and do my hair?
Oh, my gosh.
Who would do my hair?
No way.
I would try and put olive oil and mayonnaise from the fridge,
Oh my
to do, and it would work.
Just to have it.
So can you imagine who I wanted to be? So you have identity crisis. Yeah. You grow up and you don't know, because you see your mother figure, and that's who you respect. That's who I saw as my everything. She had long blonde hair. but mommy, what's going on? Why is my hair? She said, Amal, por favor, just let me comb your hair, let me brush it, and then it will be like my. Because I was going, no, don't, my hair, because it would hurt me because my hair was tough. There's
curly.
I had to, for example, go on a school trip and I had to go swimming. Now, my skin is different. My hair is different. All of a sudden, my skin's curling up. It's looking all
Dry.
like dry. You know, these are things that my mum had to learn herself from black culture to be able to teach
raise
me in now a Spanish culture. Imagine the level of bullying.
If we were still suffering that in the UK, where you had that many black people, we can imagine what Spain was like, even till now.
No. When I go back, they find it very difficult that, my first language is Spanish because I grew up here. My mom's sisters would come and look after me.
So you had to learn.
Well, before nursery, I learned Spanish. So then when I was 4 years old, my dad said, listen, I don't speak Spanish, so you have to take this child to school because otherwise I cannot communicate with her. She's like 4 years old and she's saying, hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué tal estás todo el mundo? And then my dad's like, okay, but no. So that's when it happened. But so my first language originally is Spanish. So the way I speak Spanish is like a white woman from the north of Spain. So they look at me and they're like, in amazement, they're like, pero ¿de dónde sale esta chica? No me lo puedo creer. And I worked in Spanish TV.
Wow.
Because obviously my Spanish is quite good. And now I became a journalist, so that's why I was doing that. But it's still till today, it's very difficult growing up. So imagine back then.
Wow.
I had on many levels, I've had to go through a lot of things and I've had to kind of overcome them by myself. I'm also an only child from mom and dad, and I'm the eldest of 6 half brothers. So I have to be the responsible one. I have to guide. I also have to learn. I have to, do a lot of things, I guess. It's life. But
absolutely.
It's not easy. So when they say, oh, look, your father, and how easy it was,
you
please
just
show
think
me some
people,
perks.
yeah.
Like, hello, since I'm 18, this man hasn't even given me money. So
dying.
I'm like, because he believes
gave you the name
in hard love
and
to
you're
do
working.
Your own work.
Yeah, he's an
Exactly.
African man.
Thank you.
Go to school.
So then when these people are saying this, no, you get to do one BBC documentary, imagine, if you're good, right? But you don't do 4.
You did 4.
Yeah, so
Listen, we've
I'm
got
trying, I'm trying.
There
I'm
are
trying.
4 documentaries, incredible documentaries that were broadcast by the BBC that you produced and basically led.
And another thing that I have to say is, part of me thinks, where can people see these documentaries? There's a kind of a gap where they don't exist right now. They've only been uploaded by some fans that have put it on YouTube, and that's why you can see it. But
how come it's not on
BBC
on the iPlayer?
Yeah.
How come it's not in some form of archive? Have you had these discussions with the BBC? Maybe we should.
That's exactly what I'm.
Especially the documentary on your uncle.
I mean, we've got Britain's Gay Footballer, Find a Home for My Brother. That was a mental health
documentary in the UK and in Ghana.
And in Ghana. We've got the gun crime documentary, Batman shootings.
Yeah, that happened at the cinema
in Aurora, in Denver, Colorado. We've got football sex and all this talking about openly gay, like talking about actually the
masculinity.
Yes, masculinity, and there was a case for the Leicester City boys. I was analyzing football and the kind of toxic environment. I'm questioning why I can't see them on iPlayer till today.
That's crazy.
But you can see Stacey Dooley's stuff. So just be sure. Just be sure that you will find every documentary. But I think Amal Fashanu's one weren't as relevant to society, but they showed it on BBC for an hour. And I managed to do the voiceover for each documentary for an hour. And I managed to put in hard work, emotions, and psychologically put my all into this project. But you cannot see it on BBC iPlayer.
Wow. So those are the questions that need to be asked. Those are the examples of what we're talking about. And we're still looking, because the funny thing is when I did glance through your profile and I remember, the gay football, I remember that one. And I'm like, I hope he's online.
No.
So talk now. the beauty and the challenges of being Amal Fashanu is the fact that you do wear many hats.
Yes.
So, broadcast in the journalism world, being a commentator or a presenter, talk to me about that industry and what that journey has been like for you.
It's not an easy industry, right? But it's a very rewarding one when you do make it. So, it has its pros and its cons like everything, I guess, but it's very demanding, and I feel like it's also a very competitive world. So, you need to stay on top of your game. It's a lot of girls ask me, how did you get your BBC documentaries? How did you do? I don't think there's a formula. I think for each person it happens in a different way. Some people can be emailing every day ITV, checking to see if they're sending their CVs. Some people even walk into ITV and try their luck. Some people go out to a night out and have a contact and meet another contact, and it might happen. So, it's quite diverse in the ways that you can kind of get into it. But once you are in it, I would say, unless you're at the top of the game, it's always going to be a bit of a struggle. You're always going to be fighting.
You're watching your back and fighting
yes.
for your position and the biggest looks and the biggest opportunities and the
then,
biggest stories.
And then there's age as well. It's a big thing. It's a big factor. In media, that's something that, to be fair, it hasn't affected me yet.
Yeah,
but it's something that I see from
constantly.
other women, and it might not be something that affects me, but I see it, and I'm like, this is an amazing professional, but potentially because she's a bit slightly older and there's a new generation, they're gonna kick someone out that's actually very experienced
To bring a young, fresh.
Yes, that genuinely isn't that experienced.
Wow.
It happens in the industry.
So, is it still something that is it still a career path that you're passionate about still? Do you still?
No, I don't think I'm going to be doing any more TV. I
No
don't think it's for me. I think what I will do is focus on my music now. And I think TV will come when I want to express a genuine something happening in my life or potentially something that I have to say. So
use your skills
to
tell.
I'm looking forward to a documentary. I want to do a part 2 of my first documentary. There's a lot that hasn't moved. We're in 2023 and people think that
people are still people are still hiding behind closed doors because they don't feel safe enough.
Thank you. How many openly gay footballers do we have in the Premier League?
Facts.
It's not like we're saying,
None.
there's 10. Yeah. So until that point, I still think that this subject's relevant. So for me, talking about race, mental health, homophobia in football, the foundation will always be something that I will do. So if there's an opportunity for me to, work with a good production company that knows my values and the importance of this subject, then I would like to do another documentary, right? So that's my TV aspect.
Yeah.
But I think for now, I've done a lot of things in my life, and I've tried my fashion, I've designed, I've done a lot of things which are current and are still working.
Yes.
But I think for me now, like, my passion lies in my next 5-6 years. I want to do my music.
Where did the music bug strike?
I went to Sylvia Young for 2 years when I was younger, and I played piano for 6 years.
No way! So you can still put it down?
Well, this is now
go.
what I'm practicing.
Here we go.
Okay, let's
Here
all
we
calm
go.
down. I'm no Beethoven here, but practice makes perfect.
Absolutely.
So I'm learning the bass, I'm learning the guitar,
Wow.
I'm getting more into my instruments. I just feel like I want to unravel more my artistic side. I'm tired of doing this whole, like, the journalistic side is something that I love and it's innate in me.
Yeah, that's natural.
But I just want to relax a bit and do my creative. Yes. And
express.
Yes. Now I live in Ghana. I can go to the studio. I meet with my producers. I create. I play. I write. That's what I want to do. Perfect the music craft.
So moving to it's like, oh my God. Listen, everybody knows how much I love Ghana, and we all love Ghana. But you just upped and left.
Yes.
And found yourself a place. And talk to me about that.
Well, if I'm honest with you, it sounds a bit wild, but this is how it happened. So I had a girlfriend from Nigeria.
Yes.
And she said to me, listen, we're not going to go to Dubai for New Year's this year. We're going to stop with Dubai and we're going to go to Ghana. She was going through her personal things and she wanted to get away. And, I was actually voting for Dubai. I'm not going to lie. And next minute, she said, let's go to Ghana. Let's go to Accra. I said, really? She said, I promise you we have to go. And this was in COVID. So I said, listen, like, this is risky. Like, all the news they were telling us, they were scary.
Yeah.
So I said, anyway, you know what? Let's risk it. The day before New Year's, we landed in Ghana. To the point where New Year's was happening, we were landing. We were landing. We were seeing the fireworks. Like, I got there, and I just never expected in my life to find like a land that was calling me.
Yeah,
I know it doesn't sound normal, but it was, I just felt comfortable. I felt like I could network. I could do my business from there. So I launched my handbags. I put the handbags in a shop called Viva Boutique in East Legon.
Yep.
I was selling. I did an event for my bags. I have massive billboards on the highway with my handbags.
Wow.
I was really welcomed. Like, I don't know. I was just very blessed and I felt good. So then I thought, why not? And then COVID was happening here. I thought, in the meantime, let me just use this time. I will have a good time in Africa, explore that, do some music. And hey, it worked for me. And now I'm just currently going and coming. But yeah, I have my flat there and...
That's crazy. Now, with this music thing, right? I'm always very skeptical. I'm a, big Afrobeats head, So when people just all of a sudden, because I never knew your musical chops. Yes, I knew the broadcasting prowess, your journalistic, power.
Grill me
all
now.
of that.
Grill me.
And
I'm scared.
Like, I seen
What's
you.
coming?
I think. Do you know the funny thing? I think it was last year. I can't remember what event it was. I walked into this event. What event was it?
It was Don't Jealous Me.
It was Don't
yes.
Jealous Me, man.
Yes.
I'm looking at this stunning lady. I'm just like.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Your memory is really good. Because I'm like, I know.
Sharp.
I was like, this is a beautiful woman. Like,
thank you.
Where do I know her from? And I just kept on thinking. And then when we connected on social media, then I saw a couple of posts. Maybe you were dancing to songs. And I said, hey, you're singing now? I know you. I've seen you on this Good Morning Britain going hard with journalists, like arguments on this side of the... I'm like...
Yes.
Exactly. So I'm like...
It's early morning, so it's anger.
You know
I'm
those
just
early
releasing.
morning where... they bring... If you watch early morning TV, they bring the brightest and the sharpest to come and talk about these topics. Like... for and against. And I'm seeing Amal, you're going in, I'm like, and then all of a sudden, I see her like, TikTok.
Early in the morning when I wake up, baby, with you, I'm on there. Yeah, you probably watched this one.
I said, like,
oops.
What's going on here?
Yeah. I let loose. This is the new me.
So did you... Yes. Let's even talk about your reputation as a incredible broadcaster. Did anybody phone you when they started to see the TikTok videos and be like, Amal, is everything okay?
Not only did they phone me, you didn't understand what happened. So I must have arrived to Good Morning in the morning.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, so this is going to be like the script sheet, whatever. They're going to play this song for a bit, your song, and then and then you're going to quickly go in and interview. So I said, oh, yeah, okay, no problem. So when I walked on set, they were like, okay, sit here, sit there. They tell us. Yeah. I was mic'd up. And all of a sudden, they played my whole track. And it wasn't even like a snippet. They played the whole track. I was even feeling embarrassed. I was there like, I don't know what to do if this is a good thing. Yeah, because it was the morning, and it was like in a serious show.
Yeah.
But they were like, congratulations. Yeah. And they made me feel like, they were like, well done. We didn't know that you could sing, but boy, can you sing. Look at you. And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't expect it. I was going to talk about Meghan and Harry. Next minute, I'm talking about Dirty December in Ghana and how I filmed it. I was like, don't talk no more in the morning at 4 a.m. So it was fantastic. Like it was, people have been very kind of like, we know that you've been wanting to do this for so long. So we're just happy that finally you're doing what you want to do. They know how ambitious I am. So if I'm now focusing on one thing, imagine I've been focusing on 5. So imagine if now I just dedicate the next 6 years on focusing on one.
Absolutely.
I will try my very, very best. I will keep on going. You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
It's always a journey. And I'm
Absolutely.
enjoying the journey. And that's what's
Absolutely.
important, you know?
Absolutely.
I know, I could get there and get a Grammy. If I
Yeah.
do, it's fantastic. I'm blessed and I thank God. But in the meantime, I
Then
want to
just-
do what
then
makes
just
me
make-
happy.
just make
That's it. I
music.
just want to live.
How have your parents and your family responded to your dream of the music business?
You know, they've always known it. They are the ones who have always said no. They have always said, no, girl, you're not doing that. You're
Mm.
going to study, and then once you study and get your money, then you can
do
decide
whatever
what you
you
want
wanna
to
do.
do. So that's what I've done. I've respected my parents. I've gone to uni. I have done my businesses. I am now happy. I've got my money. Please, guys, allow me. My mom is, for the first time, she's like, hi, Amal, well done. Look, Daddy December. Even dancing to it, it makes me so happy. And finally, I can just now do what I want to do.
And like I said, I'm very critical, especially when people switch careers and all of a sudden they show up as an Afro pop, Afrobeats artist. I'm like, yo, and you know.
I like
you
a
know,
challenge.
you know.
Do a challenge. I'll bring a Grammy here next time.
Listen, I've got to say, first of all, I was listening. I'm not sure if it was Lean on Me or Dirty December. I thought, oh, the production is really nice. And then I heard Maestro on the beat. You know, Maestro, in my opinion, is one of the greatest creatives from Africa of our time. So to have had such a genius to have created music, I actually wanted to call him, but it just slipped my mind to say, so you produce for Amal? Like, yo, that tells me something, because he's such a music person that I know for a fact that he's not just working for a check. You know, there was something there. And then when I went on to listen to the other records, all of the records that I've listened to so far from you, well produced, really sounds very good. And you were doing your thing on that. I'm like, I was actually driving and I was like, I can actually listen to this. You know, when you go in and you're trying to be critical.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
this
okay,
rich girl.
all right, I could listen to this, man. I'm not gonna be a hater. This is good music, you know. So how does it feel to step into the arena that's like, especially with Afrobeats and Afropop being very huge, successful now, and just coming in and trying to prove or earn your stripes? What's that like?
It's amazing for me. This is all I've ever wanted to do. I've been waiting for this. And when I have a challenge, I am happy to learn, to be guided and go and work and do what I'm doing. So for me, to actually do it with something that I genuinely love, it's a pleasure. Like, I'm so happy to be here, be able to talk to you about music. Tonight, I will go home and be like, you know, it's great to actually go on the radio and talk about my love for music. Imagine going on an interview and having to talk about homophobia in football and racism in sports, when genuinely in me as well.
You also wanted to add, you wanted to add the
and I wanted to
creative
dance and show you guys that I can also do that, you know? So it's very important. I'm finally being Amal, not Amal Fashanu. It's Amal. It means hope in Arabic.
Your own identity,
Thank
right?
Thank you.
That's fantastic, to be honest. So now you've dropped singles, you've got music videos out there. I see you walking the horse. I see you I see you doing it all. You know, what is the plan? First of all, is this Amal's own label, which means this is backed by Amal?
Yes.
You fund the whole thing yourself.
Yes.
It's not sweet, is it?
No.
Costs a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Production, mixing, mastering, video.
Studio time, everything. I mean, and you're talking about, you know, when you're wanting the best of everything, you don't want to compromise. You know, you want to add now a drone into the music video because you now want a smoke machine of the effect, because you want the shot perfect. And, you know, I'm a bit like perfectionist. So then to try and get that for, whatever I can afford
Yes.
is, it's a struggle. You have to really balance, juggle things. Some months you can't do the things that you want to do,
Wow.
People talk about, having money. Yeah, you can have money, but when you're trying to invest in your business and in your career and your stuff, there will be nights where you don't have that money,
Facts. 1000%.
and yeah, I can wear nice things and designers and things. That's presents or
Yeah,
someone has got,
that's the
or I
industry.
bought time ago.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to, you doing stuff and when you invest in yourself, it can be, a lonely, scary road.
Absolutely.
If tomorrow you don't have enough money, you're the only one
to blame.
You need to go
That's
out and actually
your
be
jacks.
effective. Yeah, make all the plates spin at the same time. Because, you have to master, produce all the stuff at the same time if you want to release. And then you're by yourself, you then have to pay a bit of marketing on the side. And then you might want to do a bit of SEO. And then all of a sudden, you want to do a cool photo shoot. And then the photo shoot increases by 500 because you want some stylist to do your hair. And then next minute, you want to add a little everything.
It mounts.
And the way I've been in the media for 10, 11 years now,
Yes.
since 2011,
Yeah.
it means that I've seen every angle. I've worked in radio. I've done a bit of writing for The Guardian, The Times. I've then, been the one that they've interviewed. Then I've interviewed myself. Then I worked on TalkSport. Then I came back in Spain. Then I did TV. So all of these experiences have led me now to understanding 360 everything I need, especially for the music industry.
Wow.
So it's even worse because I now know how
What to
much I
do.
need to spend, which is a lot. And I don't like
crazy.
it.
So, are you gonna continue dropping singles for now,
Yes.
or are you trying to move to a body of work early?
I am doing an EP.
Yes.
So I have an EP. I kind of wanted to do a bit of dance music.
Yeah.
I think it's an explored kind of area, and I think for me it's very easy to write and
Yeah.
to compose to it, and I enjoy it. So I'm doing a EP, a dance EP,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to focus on an EP which is going to be like more of my soul, which is a bit more R&B,
Yeah.
Slightly Afro-Spanish,
Yeah.
but R&B, which is important for me. I think it's the only way that I'm very emotional. I like to express, my fear and talk candidly with the people who want to listen.
Yeah.
So it gives me that opportunity, whereas dance gives you more of a upbeat feel, and Afrobeat gives you more of that dance, good vibe,
Vibes.
and
Facts.
even if the songs are semi-sad, they're still
They're still
sad
they're
but
still-
happy, So yeah, R&B is going to be the next challenge, and I'm hoping to do that very soon because I've already recorded, and I'm just planning now all the pieces. So everything has to be in line.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I do this? How do I promote, marketing, get people, and especially when you're by yourself. But yeah, you never know. Maybe I sign someday.
Something.
Maybe in 2 years, 3 years when I'm ready.
Final important question. Who is or who are the inspirations behind the music?
Well, that's a good one. And most of my inspiration, apart from Spanish artists, because I
Yes.
grew up in Madrid,
Yes.
it's more. My mom used to travel, and every time she came back to Madrid, she would get me a Now CD. So
With the top 20s,
yes. So I would always
top
have those
40.
top hits.
Yeah.
But it would be like Aaliyah.
Yes.
It'd be sometimes they would add Sade.
Yeah,
I would. So these are the kind of women. Whitney Houston. Celine Dion. Those are my kind of references, and those are the ones that even when I'm asleep, I could sing those songs. So they are the ones.
Absolutely. Listen, thank you very much for taking time out to drive all the way here. I'm excited.
Long. Long drive.
I'm excited. I'm excited to listen to more music from you. I like what I've listened to so far, and I think people would like that as well. The production is fantastic. The music is brilliant. The choruses, the mixture of heritage shows itself very well on the music. I've got some advice for you as well.
Thank you.
Off camera.
Thank
But it sounds amazing. So I'm looking forward to more incredible stuff from you. And congratulations so far on such a fantastic career, man. I don't think people would say that to you very often, but I've seen you for a long time. And I've watched these different hats that you put on. And I can imagine what it's been like, what it is like, and what you've had to go through. So please allow me to say, well done on such a beautiful journey.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the beautiful Amal!
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're
The
welcome.
Afrobeats podcast.
Right, right. Got that song.